It seems like there's not a single day where crypto prices aren't crumbling down, and with that negative price performance, interest is also declining. Have a look at Google Trends. This is the search interest for crypto in blue and for Bitcoin in red. Bitcoin peaked in November of last year and crypto 3 weeks ago when Donald Trump launched his Memecoin. All the meme coins are red now on pretty much every time scale, but there is one outlier, and that's Fartboy. Fartboy is up 89% in the last 24 hours alone. And this week, it went from 3.5 cents to now 17 cents. And interestingly enough, it's still not a trending token on the Solana chain. The trending tokens ordered by their liquidity pool size are official Trump, Fartcoin, and Pudgy Penguins. Fartboy is nowhere near to see. Now, the big question is, can Fartcoin continue to withstand the overall crypto sentiment? How strong is this rally? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? Let's have a look at the Onchain metrics most people are not considering. In the last 24 hours, we have seen more than 4,000 buyers, but only 3,000 sellers. 57% buyers versus 43% sellers. The price continues to go up. And we're going to talk about this point in time here, this vertical line, in a minute. Something very interesting happened over here. Now, the Telegram has roughly 1,000 members. The Twitter profile has roughly 12,000 followers. On Discord, we've got 8,000 members, and on chain, we've got 11,000 holders. Now, those numbers don't necessarily align. Usually, if we see that many followers on Twitter or that many people in Discord, we would see more holders. Normally seeing the exact same number of holders versus people that are active in social media, that's not really something that's very common. It seems like the social media presence is to a degree artificially inflated. Of course, we don't get much information from the website, right? This is where everybody gets their information. We want to look at the info most people are not considering. Now, here's the number of first-time versus recurring traders per day, and here's the number of token transactions per day. We see that in the middle of January, a lot of first-time traders entered. We then see a second wave that started in the last few days. But during those days, there were actually more recurring traders than first-time traders. We can also see how the number of token transactions is going up. So maybe recently there is more automated trading than there was initially. What we're seeing over here is the trading volume. So on the left side, that's in US dollars. On the right side, that's normalized to 100%. And we segment here based on holding thresholds. How many dollars does a wallet hold of the token? Again, we see those waves of attention, no surprise here. What is interesting though is that over time, less and less small retail is trading the token, comparatively speaking. So those are wallets that have up to $1,000 worth of the token. The larger wallets that have up to $10,000 or even $100,000 worth of the token, they take over more and more of the trading volume. Interestingly enough though, the number of whales is not going up. The number of very, very heavyweight crypto traders isn't going up, but the trading volume by those people is going up. What we see over here is the number of wallets on the left side that have at least 6,000 Fartboy tokens. So that's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, we go at 10x in minimum holdings. So that's now $10,000 worth of the token. And on the right, another 10x. That's $100,000 worth of the token. And here I want to talk about this 14th of January. This is where we had the bottom and where then the whales bought in very, very quickly. They only needed 3 more days in order to get back to those old all-time highs. Small retail continued accumulating much more afterwards. And this is the 14th of January. This is when the price decline stopped. This was the best time to buy. And initially, a lot of those purchases had been made by the whales. But the secondary rally that followed, that's all driven by small retail, apparently. But here's the thing. The number of whales did not go up, but the percentage that's held by the whales that are already in the token, that is going up. Have a look at this here. The following charts show who dominates the token ownership, what kind of wallet cohorts hold most of the token. And we can clearly see how there is a trend happening. So on the left side, we normalize all the token holding to 100%, and the whales are taking over more and more of the supply. So those are wallets that have at least $100,000 worth of the token. Small retail, so those are again the wallets that have less than $1,000 worth of the token, they own less and less over time. The whales right now own 62% of the token. Small retail only owns 1%. Just have a look at how quickly small retail holding grew versus how quickly the whale holding grew. This is a takeover of the token by the market makers and potentially also by the centralized exchanges. Yes, there is growth of the number of small retail investors, but most of the price appreciation happens because the big guys are getting in. Now, does it still make sense to buy the Fartboy token? Let's have a look at market caps and let's have a look at potential upside. Here is the good side of the story. The trading volume still all happens on decentralized exchanges. Thus, when the centralized exchanges start listing the token, we're likely going to see another wave to the upside because those kind of news, they push prices up. We do not have any perpetual futures for the token, but again, we are in a situation that's very, very risky in the macro environment. Pretty much all crypto categories are going down, and the Pump.fun ecosystem went down by 31% in the last week. And this is where Fartboy got launched. Here are the top Pump.fun ecosystem tokens. Fartboy is now at 169 million. Fartcoin, the largest Pump.fun ecosystem token, is a bit under 3 times the size. So this is probably the upper ceiling. There is no 10x in Fartboy anymore. Could Fartboy double from here? Yes, very much possible, right? Again, once the centralized exchanges get involved more. But here's the issue. I do believe that this is a bet against the odds. Most tokens are going down, and there will be some influence of the general market on Fartboy as well. And what we see over here is the Bitcoin dominance. So how much of all of crypto is in Bitcoin? And usually the altcoins only rallied, or the Bitcoin dominance crashed, when that dominance hit 70 percentage points roughly. Currently, we are not there yet. We are at 62%. So Bitcoin continues to outperform most other altcoins, and that's already happening since September of 2020. Alts can do well, and especially Solana did very, very well. But still, overall, we are not in altcoin season. It's rather the opposite. And so that's why I take a contrarian approach. I don't try to find the needle in the haystack. I'm simply just betting on the haystack continuing to do badly. Now, this is Balancer relative to Bitcoin. It goes down very, very consistently. And the maximum rallies that we see aren't that large, maybe 20% or so in magnitude. However, when we look at Balancer relative to the US dollar, those rallies can be much, much larger, right? 108% over here or 130% over here. So when we bet on falling prices, it's very important to use relative valuations to bet on altcoins doing worse than Bitcoin, not on altcoins to do worse than the US dollar. Because again, when all of crypto suddenly bounces up and Bitcoin goes up, say by 20%, then Balancer might also go up by 15%. It will still underperform Bitcoin likely, right, as it has in the past, but versus the US dollar, it can always rally when all of crypto suddenly goes up. And so that's the difference between buying a small token, hoping for it to moon and potentially losing everything, versus just betting on consistent trends. We want to have as little volatility as possible. We don't want the price to go up and down massively when we short. We want to have very little interest in the token. The reason for those rallies is that all of crypto sometimes goes up. But the reason for this long-term underperformance versus Bitcoin is tokenomics. Right? It's an expanding supply of the altcoin. And a lot of altcoins have that. Many altcoins have an expanding supply, or they've got a circle of insiders that sell over time that pretty much expand the liquid supply that way. And so really, I believe crypto is not necessarily about buying the lottery ticket and hoping to always make 100x. I believe it's about the long game. And if we can long-term outperform buying and holding Bitcoin by just 20 or 30% per annum, and we do this over many years, then we can also invest higher amounts, right? With a 100x bet, maybe we bet $1,000 $1,000, maybe $2,000. But when we've got a trend that underperforms Bitcoin very, very consistently, and we can bet exactly on that relative valuation, then why not put $5,000 or $10,000 or even $20,000 into such a position? Right? It's way less risky, and the less risky a position is, the more we can potentially deploy. Now, those relative valuation shorts are not super straightforward, right? You need to use decentralized finance. You need to figure out how to swap things, how to set up stop losses, etc. And so that's why I made dedicated videos for this. That's all part of Premium. So there are more than 100 tutorial videos in Premium. Feel free to check it out. And because the market has been so tough for many, the price for Premium also is now down by $40. If you sign up for Premium, you can lock in that rate. So you'll always be charged $125, not $165. Of course, once the market picks up again and everybody searches for crypto again, then the price will be normal again. So feel free to lock in the rate. There's, by the way, also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like Premium, just message me within the first week and I refund you 100%. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish these regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in Premium. Cheers.